Please. Too bad the lady doesn't feel the same.
9 spicy She-Hulk facts Marvel wants to hide. Explored. Everyone has heard of the Hulk, even the ones who aren't exactly Marvel fans to begin with. However, She-Hulk has largely remained in the shadows of this popular hero, despite being one of the most powerful Avengers. The curious case of Jennifer Walters, or Jade Giantess, has baffled the fans because her stories show signs of brilliance that haven't exactly been an integral part of pop culture. Like her cousin, Bruce Banner, She-Hulk has almost all the powers and abilities that Bruce Banner has in his Hulk form, but what makes her special is her ability to control her powers. She is not the hot-headed whimsical hero, and there have been several occasions where she showed her skills to be a team player, or even a leader. Despite her powers and skills, She-Hulk has never been a part of a movie or a TV show. Only comic book fans and the ones who played the video games featuring her are aware of her existence. Thankfully, Marvel Studios revealed that a She-Hulk live-action series would air on the Disney Plus streaming service, marking the first time this powerful heroine will get her own storyline on screen. In this video, we bring you some lesser-known facts about this unsung superhero, the controversial bits that Marvel doesn't want to explore.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
And you, my caring kin, you don't need any more of that.
In a dystopian future of Old Man Logan, She-Hulk had babies with his cousin Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. The comic book world is no stranger to alternate universes, but She-Hulk had a rather interesting storyline in Old Man Logan. The scandalous narrative took on a bizarre and fascinating plot, but She-Hulk probably had the worst of it all. The story revolved around Wolverine in the distant future, where most of his friends had died. In this post-apocalyptic landscape, She-Hulk was shown to have babies with her cousin, Hulk. This dark side of the story was naturally frowned upon by the fans. These incestuous children grew up to be some kind of green hillbillies, and it was cringe-worthy to say the least.
Feels like somebody's lighting my fire.
There was a She-Hulk movie planned in the 90s with Sylvester Stallone's ex-wife. We might be overjoyed by the idea of a She-Hulk series now, but the drought for a She-Hulk project could have been a lot less. This character almost ended up having her own movie in the 90s, and all this was long before the popular MCU took over. The character was becoming increasingly popular, and her appearance in the animated show only made things perfect for a movie appearance. Larry Cohen was keen on developing a movie surrounding this character, and Bridget Nielsen, the ex-wife of Sylvester Stallone, was supposed to play the role. These are not mere speculations because Bridget Nielsen actually joined the project officially. Even the promo shots were complete, and we got to see glimpses of this diva in full She-Hulk makeup. And Bridget Nielsen was a known face back in the day, and a prominent action star. Clearly the casting was on point, and she could have recreated the magic we saw in movies like Red Sonja. Unfortunately, the movie was eventually shunned, and it was thought that making such a movie would be too much of a gamble. Thankfully, the world has changed considerably, and finally, we will have the privilege of watching this stylish heroine in action. However, we are quite certain that Bridget Nielsen would have done a wonderful job with the character. David Goyer called She-Hulk a comic book porn star. It is hardly a debate because hypersexualization of women in comics is nothing new. We have grown up with the idea of female heroes with a strange standard of perfection. Their physique would be alluring to the male fans, and they would usually be bestowed with the thinnest of waists and ample bosom. Many fans might be rooting for a new brand of feminist heroes, and it would be wrong to suggest that we didn't have enough heroic female protagonists. Scarlett Johansson stole the show as Black Widow, and the Wonder Woman movie went on to become one of the highest grossing superhero movies of all time. However, not much has changed when it comes to female heroes being projected as powerful, but appealing ladies. They can be extremely powerful as long as they are equally attractive. And from Gal Gadot to Scarlett Johansson, the casting says it all. Is SheHulk a feminist hero and a female warrior breaking the stereotypes? We all know the answer to that, don't we? It is simply a case of female empowerment filtered through the male gaze. And that is hardly unfair, considering the fact that a vast majority of the consumers are males. The studios might harp on how they are trying to break the barriers and empower women, but the fact still remains that they have to retain the bodacious women in their skimpy outfits, even as they fight the most powerful evil forces. David S. Goyer, the man who wrote screenplays for iconic DC characters, has dismissed SheHulk outright as a giant green porn star. He claimed that this character was merely created to cater to the lusty fans, and such controversial comments drew a lot of flack. Stan Lee himself came out in protest, and so did thousands of fans. However, there was a significant section of the audience that couldn't deny the harsh truth in Goyer's statement. The right or wrong of this matter is a debate for another time, but it is what it is. SheHulk has been constantly slut-shamed in the comic books. There have been times when SheHulk has been openly slut-shamed in comic books. During one such instance, she is shown dressed up in her cliched French-maid outfit for Johnny Storm's party. The latter goes crazy at the sight of SheHulk in an alluring uniform and proposes to her right away. The way she feels is kind of unfortunate, because the comic book shows her repenting her dressing sense. It is almost like she is guilty that her appearance and mannerisms make her colleagues and friends approach her with lust in their hearts. She rejects the advances of Johnny Storm, but later she goes to check on him as if it were her fault. There are several other instances where it is hinted that she has multiple partners, and the constant reminder that she is out of the ordinary in terms of her character is somewhat disappointing.
Oh, super spy, access denied. Some things in here are just too hot for you to handle.
SheHulk was married to a Manwolf, who was J. Jonah Jameson's son. There have been plenty of romantic connections associated with SheHulk. Several heroes and villains across the Marvel Universe were linked to this alluring superhero, but one of the most interesting ones would have to be her brief union with John Jameson, the son of J. Jonah Jameson. Over the decades, John has been shown to be everything from Manwolf to an astronaut, and his marriage to SheHulk was bizarre and interesting at the same time. They got married in Vegas, and later it was learned that their union was simply manipulated by another character called Star Fox. The marriage was short-lived, but many were stunned by such an unexpected turn of events. The character undeniably experienced too many ups and downs, and it is only justified that she finally has her own TV show. If the story is done right, this can be an intriguing affair, and it might reignite the spark in Marvel shows once again. Changing SheHulk's character from an intelligent one to a violent maniac. The recent years haven't been too kind to the character of SheHulk. Fans have known her to be a sensible and insightful heroine, but Marvel changed that all too quickly and transformed her into something very different. The character was first introduced in 1979, and it all started after she got a blood transfusion from her cousin, Bruce Banner. Although SheHulk can be quite violent, she is known for her control over her rage. Unlike the Hulk, she deals with the effects of the transformation much better, and she even portrays a strong and kind persona to go with her powers. The recent change began when she was shown to receive more gamma radiation from a Celestial, and she turned into a bulkier version of herself. She also grows more impulsive, and there isn't much to separate her from her short-tempered cousin. Jennifer was shown to thrive in the freedom of giving in to her uncontrolled rage, but her loss of self-control did not go down well with the fans. They demanded a change to the character, which would restore her sensible status once again. Maybe it is time to bring the old altars back. Portraying SheHulk as more efficient than Hulk. Since the two heroes have similar powers in many ways, the comparison between them is evident. It is often speculated who is more powerful, and Marvel has flirted with the options quite often. If we go by sheer logic, Bruce Banner does appear to be stronger. He got the powers from a direct gamma exposure, and his cousin, SheHulk, only got it from a faulty blood transfusion. There have been times when Jennifer herself admitted that her cousin was a lot stronger than her. However, there was something unique about SheHulk that Bruce Banner lacks. While Hulk is ruthless and exhibits raw power, the same cannot be said for Bruce Banner. On the other hand, Jennifer is a skilled fighter even in her regular human form. She was trained by the likes of Captain America and Gamora, and this has made her a force to reckon with, even without transforming into her green avatar. Hulk might smash harder, but one of the storylines suggests that She-Hulk defeated a version of Thanos single-handedly. She-Hulk has been shown to be more dependable than the Hulk, and thus, even if the strength is considerably lesser, the efficiency is at par. They both have remarkable feats and accomplishments, and thus both sides of the debate are acceptable. If Hulk punched time and held the planet together with his maddening strength, She-Hulk too is an unstoppable entity in her rage-induced condition. Instead of rating them against each other, it is fair to compare their strengths and weaknesses, because both Hulk and She-Hulk are respected superheroes. Creation of the She-Hulk was a mere money grab opportunity. If we explore the legacy of the character, some interesting origin stories come up. The idea to create such a character was no more than an opportunity to set the cash boxes jingling. The 70s were troublesome times for the comic book industry, and the sales figures took a terrible hit. Even popular hits like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four had ridiculously low numbers to show, and Marvel realized that they would have to diversify. The first thought was to introduce new characters, and they came up with the likes of Luke Cage, Hellcat, Miss Marvel, Spider-Woman, etc. The real incentive behind these characters was simply to reach out to a wider audience. For instance, the only purpose to create Luke Cage was to bring in more African American readers on board, and the cat, or Tigra, was introduced to appeal to young girls. She-Hulk was created with the same mentality, and it came during the heights of Hulk's popularity on CBS. The original series writer, David Anthony Kraft, has admitted that the team had to come up with a new storyline urgently because Marvel and Stan Lee were keen to ensure that the rights of this character remained with them. Fortunately, such a hasty creation did not ruin the storyline, and She-Hulk went on to become a steady character even though it was kept away from the screens. Currently, Disney owns both Marvel Comics and ABC, and this is probably why we are finally getting a She-Hulk series, which was long due.
I'm Jennifer Walters. I'm a normal lawyer. Well, not that normal.
Casting Tatiana Maslany. The upcoming She-Hulk TV series is all set to bring in Tatiana Maslany as the titular character, Jennifer Walters. She is going to be Bruce Banner's cousin, who can also transform into a giant green monster. While not much is known about the plot, it is confirmed that Mark Ruffalo would reprise his role as the Hulk, and Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black would be playing She-Hulk. Ginger Gonzaga, the actress who plays She-Hulk's best friend in the show, has gone on record to suggest that this is the perfect casting, and no one could play the role of She-Hulk better. Several die-hard Marvel fans echoed her opinion, and there have been several pieces of fan art speculating how she would look as the superhero. Previously, Tatiana Maslany has impressed everyone with her performance in the series Orphan Black. She showed that she is capable of perfecting a wide emotional range and multiple characters. She even won an Emmy Award for her performance, and her versatility offers hope for the fans that she would deliver a magnetic performance as She-Hulk, exploring all sides of the character. She is as comfortable in comedic moments as she is in dramatic, intense sequences, and her role in Orphan Black must have also prepared her for the technical challenges that might come with the role of She-Hulk. Overall, Tatiana Maslany also commands a loyal fan base, and her talented persona might help the series get a steady head start.
And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.
Now, what's a girl to do, huh? That boy is such a sweet talker.